The health cover up of Donald Trump has now hit the White House Christmas card. Let me explain what is going on. The health cover up of Donald Trump was made particularly evident based on what the White House has released, and I will explain. We have been following for months now the obvious lack of transparency about the health of President Donald Trump. We recently spoke to Sarah Matthews, former deputy press secretary for Trump during his first term, who confirmed that, yes, obviously there is some kind of health cover up going on. We don't know the full extent of Trump's health issues, but one visible aspect of this has been his hands. Now, for months now, we've seen Trump with visibly bruised hands. At first, the bruises were just not covered. Then the bruises were covered with makeup that didn't match his skin tone. And then after that was ridiculed, Trump switched to using bandages. And none of the explanations made sense. Eventually, very late in the game, the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, said, oh, Trump's hands are bruised from shaking hands. And that was very difficult to believe. First of all, Trump doesn't shake hands with his left hand, so it doesn't make sense his left hand would be bruised from that. And maybe more importantly, if the president of the United States is so fragile that basic handshakes cause bruising, it raises even more questions about the state of his health. Like maybe he should stop shaking hands if that's the case. Maybe he's not quite the alpha figure that his supporters insist he is, if shaking hands bruises them so badly. So that brings us to the White House Christmas card. The White House released the official Christmas card featuring Donald and Melania Trump. And there's one thing that immediately stands out. Trump's right hand shows no bruising at all. It shows no bandages, but it almost looks too perfect. And indeed, if you zoom in and look closely, the top of Trump's hand is completely flat and a single uniform color. That is not normal for any hand. I mean, look, I put my hand up and you can see that between the light and just, my knuckles were just leaning against my other hand and hair on the back of my hand, there's texture there. It's not all one color. We know that Trump's hands are not only bruised, but they are also irregular. He's almost 80 years old. Like most people his age, he's got veins and variations in skin tone and patches of discoloration, what are sometimes known as liver spots, which I don't think is the right medical term. I forget exactly what it is. My dermatologist calls them, what does he say? Wisdom spots. All of that has been completely and very obviously airbrushed away. It's not done subtly. It is a bad job of photo and video manipulation, but that makes the point even clearer. They're aware of this issue. They know we need to cover it up because otherwise it's going to become an even bigger issue. And of course, in this case, the cover up is becoming the bigger issue. And maybe the larger problem for Trump and the larger problem for the country is that as we approach 2026, with Trump about to turn 80 years old in about 6 months, we still don't really know the status of his health. We really don't have an explanation that we feel confident in about the MRIs or the hand bruising or anything. And now we are shown images that pretty clearly seem like they've been edited in terms of showing us Trump's underlying physical state. And this only reinforces that there is very much something here that they don't want you to see. Now, I want to go back to something we talked about last week just briefly. We hear all of these discussions about, oh, Trump 2028. Could there be some novel interpretation of what it means to serve 2 terms or, this kind of crazy Bannon stuff, even though Trump has said, no, they say I can't do it. Missing from the conversation, and we need to re-inject it anytime they talk about it. When you see one of these, we are the first to endorse Trump for 2028, our response, I believe, shouldn't even take the legal part seriously because I believe that it's settled and they would fail on it. It should be, guys, Trump's down to working 12 to 5, slurring and out of energy constantly, photoshopping his hands so they don't look as decrepit as they are. This guy couldn't make it through a 3rd term. Forget about the legal part, which is completely settled. This guy's going to be lucky to have the energy to remain president through the end of this term, never mind the third term. So a very Merry Christmas, I guess, with some very obvious photoshopping of Donald Trump's hand and still no real answers as to what it is that is going on here. Thanks for watching. Check out this other video. And if you like our content, make sure to subscribe so YouTube puts our videos in your feed, and subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and Apple.